Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are still in Garlemald since last time. And yeah, we found some non-tempered Garleans who don't know either how they were spared. And they asked us if we can go to a camp down here where people apparently have ceruleum because they need heat. I think it's this thing. This looks like an entrance. Just in case. Who goes there? How did you find us? What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? The purebloods over at Victor's Boys hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Those stuck-up assholes thought they could come waltzing in here, demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Looks like the boots on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. And they've resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game sells what. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. Seriously? Am I dead yet? Okay, someone else wants to talk tough. There you are. Just after you left, Lucina asked me to go and catch up with you, in case you need a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've had little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's done? Well then, after you. Who are you? What happened to the guards? I beat them bloody. Eorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hell would you pass up this chance to put those imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess, none of you are Garleans? You were brought here from other lands? Giabania, Yansha, Bodra, Damaska, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of Ahn, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. But the only thing that escapes more or less unscathed is the Cerulia Ingens, still sustaining us, even though our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're expert in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of a lake, but how can you do it if it's frozen over? Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secret, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days, what with the city in ruins. We take enough to power our heaters and save a surplus for later, and though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we got ceruleum by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions we're willing to share. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we manage to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire. The knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. As long as there's need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald as we knew it is gone for good. Gone for good. Probably not wrong. If you're wondering why we post guards outside, it's because we have had some trouble with other refugees. And I don't mean the ones at Victor's spoils. Some of them come bearing weapons and won't take no for an answer. As for the 2 guards you met on the way in, I'll tell them what we've discussed, once we've recovered from the beating you gave them. Come to think of it, maybe we should ask your contingent to send some bandages and healing balm. Regardless of what there is about contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, where for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people? Their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there will be plenty of time to ponder it later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. The fire we built at Victor's spoils won't last forever, and it's too dangerous for Lucinia and the others to search for more kindling. If we can get them some ceruleum, that'll be one less thing for them to worry about. For a time, at least. So, you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? What was purebloods up at Victor's spoils sent you? To turn to their enemies forever must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Lucinia's got her little sister to think about. A sister? But we only saw Lucinia and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused Lucinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be it sure to send them our way, you hear? I can't for the life of me think why Lucinia would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask about that after we've delivered the ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. Because she doesn't fully trust us? It's one thing to accept that your own life is in danger and just risk it than it is to risk your family. It's just a different choice. This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I look inside the house, while you search outside. They can't have gone far. Damn it all. What's going on here? They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me, caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. You can't fool us. We know. We know what you're about. Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness. Then in you swoop. Here to help? What rot! All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in to put ourselves at your mercy. Put us in chains. Steal our lands. Get your revenge. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save your arguments for later. We've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles in the bed that was still warm. It's true. Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. And if you think I tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot! Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it, so the medicine's run out, or she's put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. Or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invade our homeland, tainted with the same sauce we used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact than to be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries, and theirs. I will join you in the search after. Alright, be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. Let's go. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Rob us of our land. Rob us of our pride. No. No, I will not allow it. Better to die free than to live in servitude and shame. The girls would say the same. I will follow as soon as I can. After I've given them some basic treatment, I'll take the man inside the house and use a light sleeping enchantment to help them rest. And ensure they don't cause any more trouble. I'm sorry, but this is something I must do. A healer to the last. Well, not to the last, because he isn't dying, but... he can't get out of his skin. 2 sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on! The trail stops at a frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route as to not leave footprints? I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place, it's crawling with beasts. And I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphinaud's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Half-buried piece of paper. A wet paper buried in the snow appears to be a flyer for a theater group, though the run of shows that advertised has long since ended. And up there's an Evercurrent. Fresh blood. The blood staining the snow appears to be fresh, judging by the amount. The victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southeastwards. Not good. Huh? No. There. The two bodies are already cold. We're too late.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. No. Why? Why wouldn't they? Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have... We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither did they. Not out here in the wind and the cold. I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all.
Perhaps.
I want to understand, so I'm going to borrow this for a while. if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
Isolde's dream. There must have been something we could have done. But what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? I don't think so. Maybe today, yes, but what about tomorrow? Next week? Like it or not, these people need help. If only we had a chance to talk things over. But it's too late now. Too late by far. A way forward. We've already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. Let us linger here no more. Come on. We mustn't forget to send some of our allies to Tepestan. We still owe them for the bottle of ceruleum. Would you mind giving Lucia a full report? Treatment of a temper is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there's anything to report, you'll be sure to know. Though I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. Is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you too seem a bit off. Forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Alice and Alphonso tell me they finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrained from saying much more than that. Clearly, they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask you for your account?
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
Not your fault.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
Fandaniel.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varus spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
What would your mother say if I let you 2 go by yourself?
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
All right.
A couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Alright, nicht dolle. I worry they were not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what's done is done. I know we will take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. They are resilient in the face of hardship, you as well. But good intentions and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Iullus Pernorbanus. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him as a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach him with caution. We captured the boy as he was about to take off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat. Reward him for his boldness. I know. This won't bring back Licinia or her sister. Taking the same risks, making the same mistakes, it's possible, but better to try than to give up. Every time. Perhaps it's unwise to volunteer for a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. The lowly task of keeping watch over provisions would not normally befit the sun. But these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by right theirs. Said your farewells, have you? Okay, but I end this episode here, and next time we go with Iullus to wherever he leads us. Until then, I'm Ace, and don't get lost.